Hello, everyone. Welcome into Above My Pay Grade. My name is Eric. Thanks for tuning in. If you could hit that like button, hit subscribe, it really helps out the channel. So the Biden administration does not want you to have control of your labor. That's right. That's exactly what they're doing. Imagine for a second, I was selling you something on Craigslist. Selling this sweet chair. Okay. I'm advertising it for $20. You see the chair, you want to buy it. You come over to my place, we haggle for a little bit, and then you say, you know what, I'll give you $15 for the chair. I say, sure. I sell it to you for $15, hand you the chair, you hand me the $15. And then a government bureaucrat comes along and says, hey, hold on. You need to pay more for that chair. And I look at the bureaucrat, I say, hey, I agreed to sell it to them for $15. They don't need to pay more. No. Government rule. You must pay more for the chair. That same analogy applies to labor. And that is exactly what's going on in the Biden administration right now. Reading from a story here from CNBC. The Biden Labor Department released a proposal Tuesday that could pave the way for regulators, don't you love that, going into a recession or depression. And they're amping up them regulators, okay? Pave the way for regulators and, of course, to reclassify gig workers as employees rather than independent contractors. Further reading, the company has argued that flexible schedules are attractive to its workers, pointing to a survey showing the popularity of the model, which they say is made possible by the use of independent contractor status. The government's coming in and saying, you know what? These people need health care. These people need to pay Social Security tax. And so our economy, a lot of it is funded by gig workers, or a lot of people use gig work and that flexible schedule to pay for their lifestyle, whether it be things like Fiverr, Etsy, Uber, Lyft, DoorDash. All these companies have this flexible schedule where you can plug in, plug out based off of your work schedule. And a lot of people are doing this as a side hustle. So they have a job, and then when they have extra time, they do something like this. Make no mistake, this will absolutely crush these businesses. But the true reason, I think, why the government wants to do this is because they will collect more in taxes. Have you noticed the desperation out of the government when it comes to tax revenue? You saw things like PayPal, Venmo, Cash App now having to issue, I believe, a 1099 saying this is how much money they made on selling a chair at a garage sale. And then the government came out and said, we're doubling the number of IRS agents. More money spent by the government. Why do you think they're doing that? Why do you think they're doing something like this? Because they need the taxes. They are broke, and they know it. And so they will crush businesses. They'll crush anyone in their way to get the money they need to pay their bills. I've said this before, but America's on the precipice of not even being able to pay. If interest rates go through the roof, that might be 100% of tax receipts. 100% of tax receipts are going to pay interest alone just on our debt. If interest rates were above inflation, that's what it would be right now. So you notice this desperation, and it's all clouded in this, we care about workers, but two adults come into a contract and say, I want to work for this guy. He offered to pay me this if I use my vehicle as a taxi, and I agreed. And the government bureaucrat comes in and says, nope, not allowed. Is that a free market? Absolutely not. These people don't care about you. These people don't care about growing the economy. These people don't care about getting out of inflation. They care about power and control and retaining that. And unfortunately, this has worked for a long period of time. You pay taxes, they take your taxes, and then they maybe give you like a stimulus check, like what's happening in California, which is tax money redistributed. It's your money. So they take that money and they hand it back out, and people are like, yay, Gavin Newsom's the nicest guy in the world. Why wouldn't California lower its tax rates instead? Ask yourself that question. if they have this surplus of tax money, why not just lower taxes? Because the government wants to be Big Brother. The government wants to be the sugar daddy and appear like this benevolent leader who's handing out cash that is yours to begin with. You paid into it. Drives me nuts. And yet people keep voting for it. Same thing's happening in Chicago. Chicago, reading from chicago.gov. Chicago Resilient Community Pilot. Oh, how fun. And let me just say this. How often do we have to hand out money to see that it actually doesn't produce productivity? Because productivity is what grows an economy. It's what grows a community. So handing it out, whether it be to Native communities, whether it be welfare, these communities have continued to live in poverty. So to act like these people give a crap about people in poverty is a total joke. They don't care. They care about retaining votes. And if they can buy them and it works, guess what? They'll do it. They don't care. They don't care about these communities getting out of poverty. They don't care about any of it. Okay? But this Resilient Community Pilot, 5,000 Chicagoans have been selected through an open application and citywide lottery to receive $500 a month for 12 months. No questions asked. So you can spend it on whatever you want. Cigarettes, alcohol, drugs, doesn't matter. And it's also open to illegal immigrants, which, how do they, I know they pay sales tax, but how do they pay taxes? So you're getting benefits from taxpayers without paying certain taxes. Seems kind of strange to me. All of this will continue to happen until people will continue to vote for free money. Unfortunately, it sucks, but that is the human condition. They will vote for free money until they realize it isn't free. And that realization comes in the form of pain, unfortunately. And what's happening in Europe, what's happening in England specifically right now, it's bound to happen in the United States. Again, if you things like Social Security, you vote for more Social Security, fantastic. You'll get it because we can print it, but it may buy you half the amount of goods that half the amount of Social Security bought you 10 years ago. That's right. So it'll give you the cash. Will it buy you anything? What matters is purchasing power. What does this buy me? It's not the number on the piece of paper. Because the richest people in the world dealt with hyperinflation. They're trillionaires in their currency. Obviously, they don't have any purchasing power. We know this. And yet, this cognitive dissonance where people go, well, I know printing money doesn't produce prosperity, because if it did, we'd all be rich. And yet, I want printed money given to me. That's how people think. I don't want people to get printed money other than myself. So if there's a specific program out there that you love, military spending, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, whatever it is, California's thing, you're like, yeah, great, because I get it. But in reality, it's going to take a swift kick in the teeth, meaning pain. So you get your little stimmy check, you get your benefits, and it doesn't buy you jack squat. And the government can't do a thing about it. Because the only lever they have is more printing. That's all they have. And guess what? That's borrowing from the future to pay for the present. I've been doing it for years, and we've been voting for it for years, unfortunately. Stuff really ticks me off, if you can't tell. My goal here is to make this message palatable so people can understand, like, they're voting not even in their own best interest. They're voting for free stuff, and that hurts their kids, and that will eventually hurt them. They don't even know it. And these politicians will pull the blinders over people's eyes and pretend like they're Mother Teresa every time. It's absolute BS. All right, guys. That's enough ranting for the day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you guys in the next one. Peace.